Hello, everybody. Hello, 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 and welcome to Keeping It Real with Dr. Lil. My name is Dr. Lillian Coley, and I am happy to be here today with you all to discuss a few things regarding everything, everybody. Because I ain't been on here in a couple of days. I just wanted to get on and talk about what the subject matter is, and I'm going to make sure I have that right. The subject matter, what we're dealing with, some stuff in the I want to say the court systems, but it's a little bit bigger than the court systems. But I want to go to my little cheat sheet, if you will. And the cheat sheet here is showing me Rymir is now a witness to the New Jersey case. Rymir is now a witness to the New Jersey case. We're going to be talking about Judge Immunities and then Diddy and Jay-Z case update. So that's pretty much what we're going to do. So I'm going to look here and see what's going on. Hello, Brother Joe. Hey. So we're going to go right in here because I want to see what's happening on my YouTube to make sure everything is copacetic. Because y'all know how this stuff is, right? So we wanted to get on and talk about it. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on with Kanye. There's some stuff going on with other people. Let's see what's going on. Hello, Brother Joe. So I see everybody here. I see what's going on, blah, blah, blah. So as I said, I wanted to talk about Rymir Satterwhite, my godson, who's now going to be a witness to the New Jersey case. What that basically means, he's not longer a party. He's a victim and a witness to the case. He'll be the number one witness. And we had to make some shuffling or movement simply because of due process, the due process laws and the way underlying cases are in district court. We would have had to been a separate case and we were not. Nonetheless, he's in a good place for New Jersey. Don't worry about everybody. Everything's good. We wanted you to hear about it from us. And then judges' immunities. If a judge is going to use the immunity card, then whatever you are trying to get them, called to the carpet on has to be outside of their duties. So we're going to talk about that as well, the outside duties of a judge, because if a judge is doing things that are outside his or her duties, then they're not immune. There's such thing called a younger alert. And in the younger alert, it says that the judges must act within their scope of services. And sometimes a judge doesn't. Sometimes, like in our case, they did not. But as a result, the biggest problem is they didn't have jurisdiction. They claimed, they believed, they said, but yet and still, they carried out and did orders, created orders with their signatures on it, and other things to make it be appeared that they had jurisdiction, and they said they did not, right? Even though we knew they had personal jurisdiction, because personal jurisdiction was something that we were talking about. And I don't know why this is coming up as this. I'm going to fix this, everybody. Let me go in here and fix this. The title came up wrong. I'm going to fix that because I don't know why when we send it over with a different title, it still gives the wrong title. I see the right title in here. Okay, let me check that. Let me just update that. That's probably where it is. This was supposed to have been changed. Okay. So we'll just change that when we do the other stuff too. Okay, all of this is wrong. So it was supposed to be what I had inside of the all right, Rymir. So pretty much in a nutshell, that's what we want to talk about. I wanted to talk about the things that I knew that mattered to you guys in regard to what's going on with us. This other title stuff, I don't know why that came up either. So this is some weird stuff, how this happens. But I'm going to try to see if I can fix whatever I can fix over here, because part of the stuff is right and part of it's wrong. Oh, it did the wrong. I guess it did this. It does what it wants because I clearly have it right here. I clearly have it here, but yet and still it's saying something different. So I'm going to fix this first before we go in because I don't want to confuse people on what we're going to be talking about. Let's see. Edit it over here, update the title. I want to update this. Just hold on, everybody. I'm going to try to fix this so that it can be what it's supposed to be and not what it wants to be. And then I will get back into the groove here. So basically, that way we can be talking about what we need to talk about. Then I'm gonna come over here and do this. And even the thumbnail looks like it's gone. Oh boy. You do all that and then the stuff still gets messy. And then I wonder, okay, I did go to the right page. That's good. And then let's see if we can go to the thumbnail page because I had definitely put that in as well. Everything was sitting there waiting for it to execute itself. And let's see if we can do what we're gonna do right here. Hold on, everybody. I just want to get this fixed because I'm tired of this always being wrong. And I don't know why it keeps doing the wrong thing, but it is what it is. All right, let's got that going. All right, so that's right now. And then I'm going to save. All right, so yeah, and then I'm going to go over here and look and see what's going on YouTube because YouTube did show like it was, the page was there. So that's the important thing is, all right, I just saw it. I think I saw it. So there was a few things I just wanted to talk about that Rymir Satterwhite is no longer on as a party to the New Jersey case. We had to move him to be a witness, and he is definitely a victim because of protecting our due process laws. So when you hear that, you'll know. Now, next week, we'll give you a more update on the case and what's going on. But that was the biggest thing. The other thing I had definitely wanted to talk about was the stuff dealing with the immunity of the judges. I just basically kind of hint on it right now on how judges are not immune to doing things out of their scopes of services. So now I see everything. Everything is finally the way it's supposed to be. So in a nutshell, that's what I wanted to do. I was going to play a small clip on immunity, but the real thing I really wanted to do was to show you documentation. So I do have some documentation that's up regarding it. And I wanted to show you what some of the statutes look like when we're dealing with immunity. And that's what I'm going to do. So you'll see from looking at some of the stuff that we have to deal with and dealing with some of the false allegations, you have to provide the stuff where what the judges did was out of their scope of services. For an example, a judge asking for money or what appears to be bribes obviously wouldn't be in their scope of services. So there's things that are considered outside the scope of services. So I just wanted to show you one little clip here. I'm gonna see if I can get it to work. Where am I at? I'm on here. So let me see where I'm at. I'm gonna see if it works, everybody. Because sometimes this stuff doesn't work for me. Is it up here? It's not up here. Oh, here it is. So I'm going to show you right now what I was just saying regarding it. This here is dealing with the characterizations or scandalous, impertinent things as it relates to judges and their actions or duties. And in this particular information, we wanted to provide you all with some stuff so you can see what it looks like when we're dealing with this type of characteristic. So the first thing is you'll see on your screen a judiciary defendant's characterizations of scandalous and impertinent stuff or things that were considered to be outside the scope of services. So I'm going to put some of this in the chat. The biggest thing is here. The characteristic violates standards of professional conduct and judicial impartiality. Some of the actions of the judges, and you can see here on your screen, were unsupported and prejudicial because some of the things that they were trying to say in regard to them being immune from doing what they did didn't hold any water because of the fact of the statutes. This is one of the main statutes right here. In this case of It's called DC for New Jersey. And this is New Jersey's own law, where they did not do what they were supposed to do in our case. But in this case, it says New Jersey Supreme Court disciplined a judge for using disrespectful language towards a litigant, emphasizing the judges would avoid language and undermines the public confidence. So that's one of the misconducts of saying things that you're not supposed to say. That's not in your scope of services. But what's the other one that I wanted to basically go after was the vexation of different things that happened during the litigations that was considered to be frivolous. So the response of bad faith by the judicial defendants are characterized by publicly troubling plaintiffs' centered allegation, judicial misconduct, and bad faith by disparaging the plaintiff in their brief. So some of the things sometimes when a judge when a judge says things, they have to be careful what they say, because what they say, if it's different from what they say to other people when it comes down to the law, that can look like discrimination. But this is the main thing here. The claims that fall outside the younger alert, or they would call sovereign immunity. Furthermore, while sovereign immunity generally applies to suits against state entities and officials in their official capacity, it may extend to individual judges acting outside of their judicial capacity or a clear absence of jurisdiction. This is it right here, everybody. And this is the statute used, so noted, Conversico and versus Supreme Court of New Jersey regarding the immunity stuff. This is it right here. So therefore, if you don't have jurisdiction, or if you're doing some duties just outside of your capacity, that would not be, a judge would not be covered for that. So that's like the main thing I wanted to show with that. I don't want to get too deep with that. I just wanted to show you guys the little bit we were dealing with in that regard. The other thing was, there is a case, the Cash App case. The Cash App case, I need you guys to pay attention to this case. This is a very important case because it deals with things regarding human trafficking, sex trafficking, and also money laundering. And the individuals you see here on the screen, they're going to be individually investigated. And in some regards, so their spouses as well. They're asking for a demand for a jury, which is good. But at the end of the day, just take a note. These cases are still pending, and it's something to note because of the fact of the characteristics of the case. So those were like the 2-3 main things I wanted to quickly tell you guys to give you an update on. Rymir's change in the case, the immunity of the judges, and then the Cash App case. The Cash App case has 2 parts, and it was 2 different freeholders who submitted complaints against the board. And these were involving sex trafficking, money laundering, and some other things. So these things here will be investigated, and the individuals will be investigated. So here is the Cash App one. We went over this one before. This is under the company called Block. And in a nutshell, it says exactly what we just mentioned here about the different things that are happening regarding the allegations. Pay attention, everybody, because this case links to some other cases of why people are doing what they're doing and some of the circles they're in. So I'll leave it at that. We'll come on next week and talk more about it. But I wanted to get those 2-3 things in front of you so that you guys can know what we're going to be talking about on next week. All right. So I think that's it for today. Rymir's situation, immunity in the judges, and the Cash App, and how people in these regards, these persons here, will all be investigated. In some cases, it will be their family members as well, because they're going to be, you personally investigate when it's sex trafficking, laundering, money laundering, etc. There is a clause that somebody sent me, and I probably could go and get it real quick. And basically what it helps you understand is what this stuff is about. So let me see if I can find it real quick before we end it. There was information that was sent to me, and it was sent so that we can be empowered, know the truth, and the truth, of course, will set us free. So let's look in here real quick where I got you. And then, like I say, next week, we're going to go into some details to get you more updated on our cases. We haven't been talking about it, but now we want to get you more updated on what's going on. If there's anybody out there who's willing and looking to help us with some of the legalities of it, representation, anything you know about immunity, because we got some good stuff on immunity already. And then also stuff about how things can be linked together. Well, I want to go over to where the young lady gave me some information. And I'm just going to read you what she sent to me regarding the Cash App case so we can understand. So we know, as I said earlier, there was 2 lawsuits from the Cash App from shareholders, and they were, of course, against Jack Dorsey, Jay-Z, and all those other people you see there personally. They were personally against them for money laundering, child sex trafficking, contract killings, etc. This was money that was used per se. Didn't say they did it. It said that the things that were happening within this case, there were things that were done within the Cash App, and the board members, including them, did not do anything about it. But nonetheless, it was money laundering, sex trafficking, contract killing, and other things. So these lawsuits are from the shareholders, and they will be going after the parties that I showed you there personally. That's what's going to happen. They're going to be going after them personally. So at the end of the day, just pay attention, everybody. You'll see how different cases, how they link up together and how they have similarities because of what's going on, the background situations. So that's it. That's it. That's all we out of here, y'all. I hope you all have a blessed and great weekend. Just keep yourself informed, stay alert, know what's going on in your community, etc. Because the only thing that's going to change is you. Other people, you could talk about them all day and night, but people are not going to change until they want to. That's just the way people are. You have to do the changing by either running for office, going into your community to do something, definitely praying, because you can't just talk about it and not pray. You pray about it and then do something, because prayer is an action word. So therefore, you go forth with that, and you look at what you need to look at so you can make your community a better place to live. Okay, I think we did good, everybody. I think that we did our 3 objectives. And I just want to check one thing while I go over here, and that's it. But this is Keeping It Real with Dr. Lil. This is Dr. Lily M. Coley, and I'm going to be signing out. And we'll be looking forward to seeing you next week when we're going to give details on the updates of our case. My case, Rymir's case, where he's at in the case, the stuff on immunity, and maybe some more stuff on the Cash App, because we're following several cases around this country, and we're following the cases for a reason, because some of the stuff ties into other stuff. And that's why y'all better listen to Kanye. I'm not saying everything Kanye says is right, but he ain't crazy. He ain't that crazy. He knows some tie-ins, right? So therefore, some of these tie-ins is going to be really interesting as they start coming out to the public. Thank you all so much. God bless. We look forward to talking with you soon. Again, Dr. Lillian Coley on Keep It